Hello and welcome to the second class on the 5 bhavas. Today we are practicing Dasya Bhava, which is an attitude of humility. And for today's class, the archetypes are Hanuman and Ram. Hanuman was always a servant of Ram. And we will use Hanuman as a beautiful example of what it means to be a humble servant of God in this practice. So go ahead and rest back. Lie down on your backs. We'll practice being servants to our breath first. So I think this is really an interesting practice because this is such an important practice, such an important pranayama practice, and yet one that maybe we abandon in search of more interesting practices. And yet it's just as important as alternate nostril breathing, Ujjayi breath, 3-part breath, breath retention, any of the other breath practices that we do. But here we become a servant of the breath. So as you rest back, think about what it is to become so humble that you become a servant of your own breath. So your ego rests back and you're just going to become aware and curious of what's happening right now with your breath. Not trying to change it in any way, just noticing what's happening with your breath. To bring a kind attention, a loving awareness to your breath. So Hanuman was deeply in love with Ram. He was inseparable from him. Hanuman was, of course, the monkey god, the half-monkey god. Ram lived in every cell and every pore of Hanuman. In one story, he tore open his chest to reveal Ram residing in his heart. And Ram, too, was equally attached with Hanuman and kept him close until his very death. There's one story where Ram's brother Lakshman was shot in the war and was in a critical situation, and Hanuman went in search for a specific herb which was the only medicine that could revive him. And when he couldn't find this specific herb, he broke off the entire mountain with his bare hands and brought it back to Lanka before sunset. So this is just the kind of servant attitude that Hanuman had towards Ram. So imagine what it would be like to bring this attitude of humility and of serving into your life. Dasya Bhava. That's what we're talking about. Begin to cultivate your intention for your practice today. What would it be like to cultivate an intention of humility? What would it be like to serve? To serve yourself, to become a humble servant of your breath in your practice. Begin to form your intention for your practice. Dasya Bhava. And you can begin to wiggle and stretch out. And stay lying on your back. Bend your knees. And begin by drawing your right knee into your chest. If you don't have any knee issues, you can hold on your shin. If you do, hold on behind your knee and your hamstring. Then release your right knee and go ahead and do this on the other side so that you're drawing your left knee into your chest. So what is it like to be a humble servant of your breath in your postures, to follow your breath? And then come back to the first side. Hug your right knee into your chest again. Press your left foot firmly into the ground. So you're pressing firmly into your left foot. Up into bridge pose with your right knee into your chest. And then lower down and release and switch legs. So now you're going to hug your left knee in. Press firmly into your right foot and press up into bridge pose just using your right foot. Okay, and then slowly lower down and bend your knees with your feet flat on the floor. Roll to your right side and come up. We're going to do lunge pose here, which of course is like a modified version of Hanuman pose, the kneeling lunge pose. When Hanuman had to go get that mountain, he had to go across a lake and he had no idea how he was going to do it. So of course Hanuman in his great devotion knelt down, prayed for help, and then he took this great leap of faith, as how the story goes. And then he took this great lunge across the lake and he flew. He remembered he could fly. So he's a demigod, of course. When he was a child, he had all these superpowers and he was causing all sorts of trouble. So they made it so he forgot he had superpowers. And so in that moment, he remembered he could fly. These stories are so fantastic. Okay, now you're going to step your left foot forward for lunge pose. And really sink down into your front left foot. And really feel your front left foot, and then you're going to come upright and tuck your tail under and lean back. And then take your right elbows to the outside of your left knee. Bring your palms together so that you're twisting. And then come back to the center and lean back. And we'll do that whole sequence on the other side. So this time you'll step your right foot forward. Tuck your tail under, and we'll just give ourselves a little bit of time to ground down through your front right foot and your back left shin. Following your breath like a humble servant. Dasya Bhava. An attitude of humility. And really feel the whole bottom of your foot and come upright. Tuck your tail under. Sweep your arms up. And then left elbows to the outside of your right knee and palms together. Still feel the whole bottom of your left foot. And then come back to the center. And let this posture out of your body. And you're actually going to come and lie on the ground, on your belly. On your belly, rest your forehead on your hands. Press the front of your pelvis into the ground. And then inhale and exhale, lengthen long through your right leg until it reaches off the ground. Take long, slow, deep breaths. And then slowly lower your right leg down. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Tuck your tail under. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen long through your left leg until it reaches off the ground. And then slowly lower down. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to push up onto all fours and draw your knees up underneath you. We're going to take child's pose, which I think is just such a great pose of humility. If you think of it as bowing here. And then slowly roll up through your spine and come to a seated position for our mudra and our chanting. For our mudra, we're going to use the Anjali mudra, mudra of devotion. And for the chanting, we're going to chant the name of Ram. Okay? So let's start. We'll do this for 3 minutes, okay? So we'll start by clearing the space with a deep breath in and letting it fall out of our mouth. Ram. deep breath in. And let it fall out of your mouth. Allow yourself to release your mudra. Then go ahead and rest back in Shavasana. So reflect back on this class. On Dasya Bhava, an attitude of humility, on seeing yourself as a humble servant. What would it be like to cultivate that kind of attitude in your life? It's not the kind of attitude that is very encouraged in our culture. So what would it be like to take that attitude of serving one another with you out into your day today? Consider one small way you could bring that it to life with you, to create that action in your life. Maybe it's as simple as remaining a servant of your breath today. Maybe it's as simple as serving your family their next meal with love. Or clearing the dishes. It's really simple. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Doing the small things with love make a big difference. So keep resting back. Stay in Shavasana for 5 to 10 more minutes. And I'll see you tomorrow for Sakya Bhava, the attitude of friendship. Namaste.